everybody, and welcome to the Finnegan Farm Homestead. So there is a slight chance that we're going to get some frost tonight, so I went out and I picked a whole bunch of peppers. I also had pepper relish from one of the national chains that does like Subway sandwiches and stuff. You'll probably know who it is. So anyway, we're going to take all these peppers and we're going to make our own pepper relish. So let's get started. Okay, so I got quite a mix of peppers. I just picked everything that I could get out of the garden this morning. So there's some shishitos, there's some green peppers, there's some red peppers. We're running it through the KitchenAid grinder attachment. And we're gonna grind these all down, but this is kind of how it works. I'm going to make a half batch of this. The recipe actually is for quite a bit more than what I'm actually going to can today, but we're going to do a half recipe. So I need to get 5.5 cups roughly of the chopped peppers, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so we're back and we've got all the ingredients here. I just want to take a second though and talk about recipes and canning safety. So what you're going to want to do is for sure follow a recipe that has been tested and is safe for canning. You can run into a lot of problems if you can stuff wrong. Botulism is the biggest risk and it can make people really sick. This recipe actually comes from the National Center for Home Food Preservation, and it is a good and tested recipe, okay? And I did half the recipe for what we're going to do today, which is also perfectly safe. But here's what we got. We ended up with 5 cups of our ground up peppers. It almost kind of looks Christmassy in there with the red and the green, doesn't it? As far as the seeds, I didn't do a lot of de-seeding. Some of the bigger green and red peppers I did pull out some of the seeds, but I really didn't worry too much about it. So we're going to put those into the pot. Try not to spill everything everywhere. And after we were done grinding the peppers, I ground some yellow onion. And by the way, all this is out of our garden, so that's pretty cool. The recipe calls for 3/4 cup. There's about a full cup in this jar, but the bottom quarter of it is the leftover peppers that were coming through the grinder. So that comes out to just about exactly 3/4 cup of ground yellow onion. That's what we used in this. Probably wouldn't have mattered if it was white onion or red onion for that matter. Onions are onions when it comes to canning. Same with the peppers. The unfortunate thing about this recipe is if we really, really like it, I'll never be able to recreate it exactly again because I used a whole bunch of different kinds of peppers. But we'll see how this goes. So 1 1/4 cups of white vinegar is going in. So this really makes a pickle, and again, that's what's going to make this safe to can and make it shelf stable. This is a cup of white sugar. It's going in. Same thing, the sugar helps to make it safe and make it shelf stable. 2 teaspoons of canning salt. You want to use canning salt whenever you can for this kind of stuff. Iodized salt, for instance, will make your canned stuff real cloudy. You don't want that, so use the canning salt whenever you can. And the last ingredient is 2 teaspoons of mustard seed. So this is going in as well. And we're gonna all stir that all up. So this is gonna go on the stove. In the background, I've got my canner. I'm starting to heat up. It has the jars inside there. We're gonna put this on the stove, boil it for 30 minutes, and then we'll bring you back as we start to fill some of the jars. Okay, so we have boiled this down for 30 minutes. And there is our relish. So I have some jars here prepared. I'm going to mostly do half pints, but our local county fair requires a pint jar. So I'm going to do this pint right here first. So I'm going to fill this up basically to within a ½ inch of the top. And a ½ inch is what's required. And again, please make sure if you're going to do some canning that you are following proper canning processes. ½ inch on these jars comes basically up to the very bottom of the top rim. Maybe a little bit more than that. Then you take a paper towel, damp paper towel, wipe off the rim. Put your canning lid on. Screw on the band. Basically finger tight. And then into the rack. And I'll go through, fill up the rest of these jars, get them all ready. We'll bring you back and show them going into the canner. Okay, here we go. So my half batch made 4 half pints and 1 full pint. So 6 half pints. I think a full batch was supposed to make 6 pints, so it made just about exactly what it was supposed to make. Got a little bit left over. That's going to be our sampler. We'll probably put that in the fridge, let it cool down. We'll give that a taste test later. But okay, this is going to go into our boiling hot water bath canner. Water needs to cover the jars at least an inch above, and I think we're good on that. We're going to let that come back to a full boil. Process it for 10 minutes, turn the heat off, take the lid off, leave it in the water for 5 more minutes. Once we're there, we'll bring them out and they should be ready to cool. Okay, 10 minutes in the hot water bath in the boiling water, 5 minutes rest. We're going to take these out. There's our pint jar. That is our, already pinging. Pint jar is going to be for the fair entry at some point. And then these 4 half pints are going to be for us. And they look pretty. Have our little sample dish in the fridge. Let that cool down a little bit. We'll bring you back one last time for a taste test, but I think they look pretty darn good. All right, well, we've got the jars sitting there cooling. They'll be ready in about 24 hours, and this is our little taster. It's called cooled off milk. I'm gonna just take a little taste. That's really good. You can kind of taste the different kind of peppers in it. I'm actually going to try it on a little cracker with a little cream cheese spread on here, but I didn't put a lot of hot peppers in this, so it's not very spicy. There's a little bit of the spice you can taste, but it's not hot by any means. So let's try it on this cracker with a little cream cheese. Probably going to be good. Charcuterie spread or something like that. I like it a lot. Is that good?